Okay, I think we're ready to go. This is I guess I'll just start the video and we'll just go from there. So, this is the 3D World Low A-Press Final Cut. It is from start to finish, a speedrun that aims to beat 3D World in about as minimum A-presses as possible. This is a pre-recorded run. It's comprised of like so many individual snippets. It's kind of like a segmented speedrun or a task where it's like aiming super hard for perfection. So like every level is grinded out for ages and hours to get the final results. Also, Daisy is here. This run is done entirely with Peach, parentheses. I have a mod installed that makes Peach look like Daisy and sound like Daisy because Peach isn't very interesting. I guess it goes without saying, Daisy does not change the game at all. It does not modify the physics or the speed. As a Kotaku famous hacker, data miner girl, I can tell you right now, it does not touch any of the files that would affect how the character works.
So she says. Conspiracy theories start now.
Yeah. Some of the strats that are in this run were found by others and not me. And those are by people who were playing, with Peach also to prove, their Peach strats. Like, specifically, Lightning and Puffy, those two helped with some strats. But the large birth of it was routed by me and figured out by me. So far, I have not pressed a single A-press in this level. There's an A-press counter in the top right, and we're going to be specifically tracking in-level A-presses because it takes an A-press to enter a level and an A-press to exit a level. And if we were to track those, let me explain it. So, about half of the levels or so are, there's not a single A-press in them, such as this level. So in my opinion, it'd be very interesting if those levels were, sort of plagued by their, prerequisite one to enter, one to exit thing. So we're not going to track those. But, I will tell you all a rough estimate of the true A-press count at the end. But for now, we're just tracking the in-level A-press counts. So whenever I have control of Daisy and I'm in a level, we're counting them. Whenever we're not in a level, we're not counting them. That's basically it. And I have Jen here to help me co-commentate because this is a whole rigmarole.
Yeah, I'm not too versed in a lot of this. I'm kind of just experiencing it with y'all, but I do love this game a lot. So
you're the audience?
I'm the audience surrogate.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're gonna be reading chat.
I'll try not to go off topic too much and keep it fairly on topic.
So this level was actually one of the last levels I recorded. My quality, my standard of quality was not too high when I first started recording these levels. So World 1 is pretty okay, but this recording I had was initially pretty cringe, so I actually recorded this a few days ago. This has been in the works for months. There I actually hold the shell because what happens is you can't grab a star like that. All the stars that are floated above you are taller than you and you need to use the cat swipe to grab them, but the turtle shell is taller than you and it extends your hitbox, which means you don't have to swipe. There, for some odd reason, if you just bonk into the platform enough times, you'll get swooped up, which makes this level also 0 A-press. So there's still zero in-level A-presses right now for 1-1 and 1-2. And I guess spoiler alert. These fences in the ending of these levels are really helpful for getting to the flagpole because Mario sort of standard design, you'll have a sort of a staircase to get you up to the flagpole, but none of them are ramps. They're staircases. Yeah. They're not ADA compliant, so you either need to jump on those or figure out a creative strat. And yeah. And no, the first Goomba hit in the level in 1-1 wasn't exactly intentional, but it's not exactly easily avoidable either. Hitting the block in 1-1 to get the cat bell is pretty hard, so I focus on getting it above all else. And you can see here I have to swipe to grab that. I could just stand there in place and I would never receive the star. So, Cat Peach helps a lot.
Yeah.
Or Cat Daisy, whatever you want to call it. Without the cat suit, this run would be very, very different because you can go up walls, You can swipe at stars. Part of me is intrigued, sort of like a different sort of category. What would it look like with that power-ups? But be very, very wild. Speaking of wild, this is an entirely vertical thing. Yeah, vertical, not horizontal. Vertical level. It's a giant ass tower. This is the point in my routing in which I knew power-ups would be required. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll route it without the Katsu. And this is where I realized, no.
There's...
Because for one, this level is ridiculous without it. And for two, it's actually interesting. Like, the way you solve, like, you may be able to climb everything, but it's not just like a one-trick pony. You gotta actually work for it. So here, we are climbing up this tower. And we're gonna go all the way to the right. We're not gonna go in that cannon. We're gonna gain momentum, go down diagonal, and then straight down. And
what a twist!
What a twist! The result is a star, and that is the only way you can get that without pressing the A button. So now we need to climb the tower again. This time we have our star. And I grabbed that star with the Midair Dive. So for those of y'all that didn't have a Wii U, well, first off, you're a lucky one. I am mostly joking. But they added the ability to dive in this game. Like, the cat character can always do a dive, but it sends you at sort of a steep angle, and it sort of adds momentum to you. There is a plain dive they added in this version specifically, which kills all your momentum and sends you straight down. And that is that adds a lot of like, it helps cut out A presses a lot. Needless to say, like, it not being, if I were doing this in the Wii U version, so to speak, there would definitely be A presses, additional A presses included. And you can see we still have not pressed the A button once inside a level so far, so we're doing quite good. But yeah, the Switch version definitely helps. You also run faster, which I want to say helps with cut out 1 or 2 A presses here or there, but the dive being added helps a lot.
Which one is she gonna go for?
Look at this text.
Look, my A button on my controller on my Wii U gamepad just doesn't work that well.
Hop! Alright, that's the first A press. And every A press has a funny animation on it, because I'm a genius.
Oh.
Please clap. Thank you.
Little golf clap.
So yeah, that is an unavoidable A press to my knowledge. Shoutouts to Puffy. Puffy helped me figure out this initial section.
That's clever.
This gate section is quite annoying. Something else I didn't mention is that we also are not allowing the use of the Gamepad Cursor, because the Gamepad Cursor can bail you out in a lot of situations.
Oh yeah,
like these trampoline platforms here, they will operate on a jump or upon being touched with the cursor. So we're not allowing that either.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. Yeah.
I'm gonna touch on that more in a second. Here we have a very annoying trick. This is one of the most difficult tricks in the run, right at the start of the run.
Ooh.
So we're gonna be jumping all the way over here on the bees, climb up here, and then use the dive. So that already is not possible on the Wii U because you have to use the dive, the Midair Dive. But furthermore, that helps you get that star without pressing the A button.
Yeah, that all looked like pain right there.
You need 170 stars to open up the door to the final level in this game. And so we cannot simply just go through the level while avoiding the A button. We need to actually engage with the level and try to get as many stars as we can.
Yeah.
And this run is routed in such a manner where, I guess another spoiler alert, other than the toad houses, I never go out of my way, like I never press the A button just for a star. The A button is pressed only in like necessary situations.
Yeah, like if you absolutely must.
Yes. Yeah. I'm actually very proud of that as a routing thing, because there's a lot of stars you can't get when you are trying to avoid jumping, and there's a lot of stars you can't get when you're not using the Gamepad Cursor, because there's a toad house, and there's that one like Japanese castle level which immediately asks you to use the Gamepad Cursor. So you are blocked off a little bit from some mechanics by not doing that. Also there, we don't jump. That's in the A press. We don't jump, but we use the cannon, which uses the A button. That is, I think, there's only like 3 cannons in the run, so The A press count is basically a jump count, but those are the
With
exceptions.
a few exceptions, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot going on. Hopefully that was slightly coherent.
Yeah, that definitely looks like one of our more tricky levels for sure.
Yeah, I completely forgot to mention the Gamepad Cursor. Yeah, we are not using that. This is definitely like my sort of take on this. Like you could get a different challenge with allowing the Gamepad Cursor. We're also not allowing co-op, because in co-op, this isn't something I actually really realized playing co-op with Jennifer or anyone else in this game. But you know, usually you can throw people in co-op.
Yeah.
So here's some funny text boxes. I love them so much. 6 A presses, by the way.
Ooh, that's rough.
I initially wasn't gonna count text boxes, but then I thought that was kind of dumb. So if any of y'all watch my routing streams,
y'all gotta count all the A presses.
Yeah. If any of y'all watch my routing streams, the A press count in this will be a little different in the end because I wasn't counting text boxes initially. But in co-op, you know, you can pick someone up and then throw them. Usually you throw them off of a cliff and it's funny. What I didn't realize though until I watched a video of someone else attempting a similar thing in the Wii U version is that if you're on the ground, you can also throw someone and they'll gain height.
Yeah.
So you basically can get like a sort of a proxy jump by just being in co-op. There was a really good video done on this, and it was proven that on the Wii U version, if you're trying to not avoid A presses but avoid jumps, you can actually never ever jump in that game.
Oh wow.
By using throws to your advantage. Yeah, GameTime did a really good video on it. So that is that is sort of the other angle to this. You could do the speedrun with co-op and Gamepad Cursor, and you could just never ever jump. And this is sort of a different take on that, especially because this is the Switch version and not the Wii U version. Yeah, also Daisy's here. We're almost done with our first world. Something that's not as evident later on, something that's not evident to a player is that World 1 is like exceedingly short compared to like World 7 and 8.
Oh, yeah.
Like World 7 and 8, I think are like nearly twice as long as World 1 and 2. So we get here rather quick. And we get to fight Bowser soon.
It's from Bowser.
I don't get that reference, but it's
it's Hotel Mario.
Oh, of course it is.
Where they find a little note that Bowser left.
Okay, so starting off here, this is something I learned through recording this. If you stand in place during this, that car won't move. He will, if you stand in place for too long, he'll like taunt at you.
Yeah.
So you want to move like a little. But like basically you can avoid like all the spikes and the lava plumes if you just stand in place.
So
and it's
who the
really
fuck's
goofy.
driving it?
That's a good question. I'm driving it.
Does he have his like foot on the gas, whatever?
He's got like a goomber.
A goomber.
So one unfortunate note of this run is that this area after a level in a castle is identical in every single one, and none of them have a wall you can cling to. So every time we fight some Koopaling or Bowser or whatever, we're going to be sent here, and we're going to have to jump.
A small price to pay for Sprixies.
It is.
I feel pain every time there's an A press now. I feel it just like, oh, my heart. The chest pains.
You'll enjoy World 2 then.
Oh.
So yeah, this is very much a challenge run as it is a speed run. I guess I mentioned this before, but I am very much trying to go as fast as I possibly can in all these recordings. These are not all of them are perfect. I think a lot of them though are quite exceptional runs. There are a couple levels that are maybe not super duper fast because the tricks in them are so hard that I couldn't get a good run with everything sort of lining up perfectly. But the large majority of these are like quite very much done as fast as I could see them being done. Because there's some pretty ridiculous speed glitches in this game. You can sort of just get infinite speed by just doing precise tricks and stuff, but those all require jumping. So you have very much a speed limit in place when you're not jumping, which is why the social version helps us exceptionally well since your running speed is just higher. So this level is very, very short. We are already near the end. That star is one of the weird ones. So I mentioned how the stars that pop out, you can get them with the cat swipe. That one does not follow that rule, and it's like actually much higher than basically every other sort of spawned star, and it's very strange.
Every time I want to try and do a Toad voice, I immediately realize I have to be very loud to do it. And I'm still not super confident in doing the voice, so it's just like...
Toad voices are like very like, I don't want to say nasally, they require like, it's like almost all from the throat.
Yeah. Maybe when I have some time alone, I can just practice just like loudest fucking Toad voice and annoy my neighbors.
Time for adventure. Diaper adventure.
Diaper adventure. Rugrats Search for Reptar Remastered.
God, they need to make that.
I would buy that day one.
Boop, boop, be doo. Jen is the trick for those funny casino areas.
What's it?
The trick for like getting the right jackpot. Oh wait,
I don't think well,
I think I got confused.
no, I don't think I know the trick for it, but I'm sure there is a trick.
So here we are actually required to die because once you fall down here, you cannot like get back up without jumping. So we have to take matters into our own hands. However, we're also catless right now, which means we have to get extremely creative for navigating this.
Do the weird Mario Odyssey roll.
Yep. And now we have cat swipe again.
It's very interesting that they added that move here.
Yep.
There's a lot of just generally like interesting choices that they made with this. I'm still like wondering why they did the speed increase.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like necessarily a bad change or anything. It's just
it's a very, very surprising thing to see from Nintendo, especially of all companies. They are sometimes just very daring, like how they sort of made that Wii remaster of Wind Waker, and like that has a very contentious art style change where it's no longer as cartoony. That's like one of the few games in the Wii U that has ambient occlusion. Wind Waker HD, especially at 1080p.
Yeah. I feel like the Wii U is definitely when Nintendo is just like, all right, post-processing effects time. We're gonna make use of all the fancy GPU stuff.
Yup.
The Wii U's got a really good GPU and a really shit CPU.
3 Wii's taped together.
Yep, pretty much.
And the Wii is 2 GameCubes taped together.
Tri-core processor.
Tri-core.
Oh my god.
So that was a 2-4, no 2-3. Not too super involved other than the start.
Yeah.
The start is funny also because I, like, how do I explain this? I, in hindsight, should have had a backup catsuit to use there, but I like forgotten to get one when I was recording. So I had to do the really creative start, but it works out in the end because it looks really flashy.
Oh, on this level?
The one I just did. I was catless at the start.
Yeah, they're really flashy, yeah.
Alright, this level has some neat tricks. We need to first grab the star up here. And there's nothing else really out here until we go inside, so we're just gonna head on over yonder.
Over yonder.
Yeah.
Speedrun tricks are for kids.
So, unfortunately, this thing is impossible to get over because it's so steep without jumping. None of the other ones are like that in here, just that one. It is exceptionally sad. And now we need to get in that pipe. And it is a much harder task than you may think. I do not get this trick first try. It is extremely weird. Switch only, baby. You need that dive. That is so ridiculous. I actually did not know about that until Puffy told me about that.
I am Daisy.
I am Daisy. She actually says that when you select her on the character selection screen. And since all of these levels are like sort of composites of me grinding each level out every time, I must have heard that hundreds of times. Just, hi, I'm Daisy. I would try a hard trick, fail it, close the game and reopen it. Hi, I'm Daisy. Just over and over and over for hours.
Now I know how to double dash players feel.
I thought it was from like one of the N64 games or something. I haven't played any of those. The N64 sports games and like the double dash.
Yeah. I didn't play a ton of double dash. I feel like it's... Sweet.
Death. Meow.
Mario Kart 8 is the one that I'm like killer at.
Alright, so notice how I got this cat bell here. Just keep that in mind for later. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
Cool. Make a little note.
Yep.
Make a little sticky note. Just post it over there.
So you see here, there's a fire bro, and there's a platform.
Oh, no.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking, Kate, what are you gonna do?
Oh, you're gonna wait for him to come down. And...
We are never going to jump just for a star.
Oh.
So, we are kicked out.
It's too bad.
I'm gonna get some text here. The cat bell is now no longer in our inventory. I don't know why it's like that. It just be like that.
And were those 3 stars worth it for all those 8 presses?
They actually are, because there are other Toad houses, spoiler alert, that I need to not complete.
Okay.
They were load-bearing 8 presses.
Bring us to the ballpark of the funny number. Does it?
It gets in the ballpark.
69 A press run.
I will not say the final. Y'all have to make some guesses at the final count.
I'm gonna guess 82.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. All right. This is a very ridiculous level. So first, we're gonna get our funny cherry and our star. One is gonna go up the pipe while the other grabs the star. Then, the other is going to get a backup fire flower. Then we're gonna switch right back into cat bell, while another enters the pipe. The other will wait. So now we're both in here, the funny trumpet friends. We're gonna align ourselves to be in the correct road path. We're going to jump, bounce on their heads, land here, and spawn a star. However, we need to grab that star, and the only way we can bounce on them is by taking damage. Which is why we get the fire flower in the first place. The platform that you're on with the P-switch is too low to the ground to where if you floated off of it with Peach, and then tried to climb the wall nearby, you would not grab the wall, because the game actually does not allow you to grab walls if you're too low to the ground. It's actually quite a weird thing. It'll play the sound for grabbing a wall, and then you just won't see Peach or Daisy grab the wall. It like just very much cancels it, which is unfortunate. So that very much routed around that. Who's Peach? I don't know.
Peach isn't real.
Peach isn't real.
There's a Princess Toadstool.
There is. So this is, I think, the worst kept secret of the world, but you do not need 4 characters to activate this elevator to get the star. You can get it in your own damn means. We're at 15 A presses now. Let me get the fireworks.
Yay.
I actually have no idea when fireworks will show up. It's apparently slower, but I think it's like based on the clock. It's probably based on whatever spawns the fireworks in Mario Bros. 1, which I have no idea what that is. Heartwarming. This girl boss didn't need the elevator. Yup. Alright. This level is an auto-scroller, and it begins with a challenge. We have to jump at the start, and we're gonna carry this height for as long as we can. This is one of the most funky levels. We're gonna be doing a lot of enemy bounces to get the distance we need. There are plenty of walls nearby for us to grab. However, you see those furnaces on the wall, those like little windows. If you are grabbing a wall and touch those textures, your grab will get canceled. So it's actually exceptionally difficult to actually climb the walls in this level. And the walls on the right, it looks like a void. It's not a void. It's just an invisible wall, and you cannot climb the invisible wall. So you are gonna have a really hard time trying to climb the walls in this level. So we're gonna avoid that as much as possible. So we are presented with another problem here. We are on the ground, and we need to go up. We're going to jump here. Unfortunate, but true. And there's no furnaces, so we can just grab the wall. There's going to be a star in this box that we're going to grab. And we are getting close to the end of the level here. You can see I'm like using the Switch exclusive little dive over and over. I could not imagine this run really without the dive. It's just so versatile. The dive you get from the catsuit is just not the same in so many ways.
Just hints different.
Yeah. Gonna do a double enemy bounce here. Let's make our way over. And there we go. So the upper section you actually can climb. It looks like you might not be able to. The only restriction is just the damn furnace. There's Boom Boom. You attack him by jumping on him. You will immediately notice an issue with this problem. He eventually gets confused, and you can hit him then.
Yeah.
And then he'll start spinning, and it's actually like a challenge when you can't jump because you can just walk, and that's all you have.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns invisible.
I always like this effect.
I think I remember them using it like a melee when you have the invisibility cloak or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that one of the items from like Perfect Dark or whatever else? It's like one of those.
No, that's the that's that one little like mine or whatever. Like,
yeah. Melee has really interesting items.
Yeah.
So we're gonna again jump here because it's like a little castle area. I'm sorry to disappoint. It's okay. One fun thing to notice is that Daisy's flag is orange here, and it has her little emblem on it. This Daisy mod does a lot of nice touches like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the remote bomb. It's wild that like at one point James Bond is being thrown around as a possible melee character.
Yep. I couldn't imagine that now, like a licensed character.
Yeah.
Like if Nintendo had made a Dragon Ball Z game, would they have fielded around adding Goku to Smash?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Or if they did end up with the Harry Potter license.
Oh yeah.
Because that was something they were. If y'all aren't aware of that, look that up.
Forgot about that. Alright, so this is 3-1. This is a crucial level for a lot of reasons. So it's exceptionally awkward to get on this fence. We're gonna do that and grab this little box. We are then going to go over to the little bitty bugs and use the Switch exclusive dive to go through them. Really rather hard to do it otherwise. And we get the Tanuki suit. This is the first level where the Tanuki suit spawns. And it will help a lot with different tricks and things throughout the run. We're gonna do everyone's favorite speed glitch here, so we can get a bunch of momentum. We may not be able to jump, but
classic.
There are still some speed glitches for us left. And we can get the bunny instantly with that.
I'm Bunny.
You are. So one thing of note is that I am always... We may be trying to avoid the A button, but inside every level, I am always holding the A button near and dear, which means I get the float from Peach/Daisy. And it also means that when I have this hat active, you will glide whenever you enter the air. So if I fall, I will gain height. And this is the first instance of a gated-in fence. The ending section has a fence, and it's entirely gated in, meaning you cannot fall off to then grab the wall and climb up the fence. So this will be a recurring theme. It's not just the capital areas that have ending sections that we cannot sort of circumvent. These closed-in fences are a real deal. Coming up now is 4-3, I believe it's called, not 4-2. Some of them are, I don't get the numbering scheme at all. Well, first off, it's 3-3. Yeah, 3-3, not 4-3. This is a really cool level. We're gonna start off and get the cat suit. And we're gonna enter this painting right here. So we're going to glide, climb the wall, touch the candle, and float from there into here. This section is timed, and you really are supposed to jump right here. So it's extremely tight, but if you have the cat suit and you climb up there, you can just barely get the star before the time runs out. And from here, we're gonna just climb up some more and go over to the funny little door. This area is entirely boxed in, meaning you need to, unfortunately, jump. So now we're at 28 presses, unfortunately. But we get a star for our troubles. And there's no way up here to this entire section regardless without jumping. So the star is not like a... We did not jump for the star.
Yeah.
The section is all pretty standard. I guess one thing I will note is that when those little bars fall off into the ground, into the void, if you're standing on those bars near the edge, you will fall with them. So you actually just have to time your run pretty well. This also comes into play here. I'm gonna fall off, and if I was timed that a little differently, I would have fallen with the platforms. So here the stairs sort of are tapered and go down, and so you cannot walk up them. You need to jump or climb the candles to get around them. The candles are quite useful in these levels. They're the most like pointless set dressing that a player would sort of, I guess, look at and not think anything of. But to a low A press aficionado, they are lifesavers for avoiding A presses. They make the boo houses very, very, very interesting. More on those in the later ones for sure. So here's the ending section. It's a bit awkward because we're being chased the entire time. But it's not too tight. And then that's the fake flagpole. It's not the real one. And we can climb a little bit and get to the real flagpole. You'll see that Daisy like grabs onto the flagpole, but she doesn't go down or up. When you hit a flagpole as a cat, you will instantly climb up it. But if you hold Y, then you'll sort of just like cling to it for a little while and then fall. And it's faster than climbing up it and then running it down, usually. Especially if you like sort of land on the base with it. It is time for Toad and his diaper adventures.
Is it Toad time? I think it's Toad time.
What is that from? Is that from the...
I made that up, like, on the spot.
It's Toad time. I believe... Oh, sorry.
I don't know if you're talking about stuff. Go ahead.
I believe this is the last level I recorded. I recorded this actually a few days ago. Chicken noises. Yeah, the recording I had was just really bad and weird. So nothing too fancy, I guess, to say with the Toad levels. They are very standard.
Yeah, because you don't want to jump anyway. So
yeah, I would not press the A button even if I wanted to. I wouldn't gain anything from it other than like another bird squawk because he makes funny noises.
Okay, yeah, the Toad time. Yeah, I was thinking of the History of the World, I guess, video where it's like, is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. That's probably what I was thinking of, and I was like, oh, is it Toad time?
What does Tonga time even mean?
I think it's referring to. Fuck, I
know about Tonka tanks.
It's like Tonga.
Yeah.
With the G. Yeah, I would have to watch the video again. The History of the World.
It is a good video.
Yeah. How did this happen?
Look at Toad. He's doing it. Bum, bum. I don't know if I can imitate that sound either. I can do a decent Toad, but that sound is very specific. Want to break the candlesticks and eat the food that's in them? Yeah, Castlevania.
Still works. Yeah.
Toad is a wretched sound. It definitely is. All right, 3-4.
All right, back to fun times.
This is also one of the last levels I've recorded, but not the last. The honor was for Toad. So right off the bat, we grabbed that star. We're limited to 100 seconds, and there's not too much crazy going on. We do need to grab this, outrun this rabbit. We actually need to cut the corners, not just like, I don't know, jump a bunch. And then we need to grab into this little like snake platform.
That like fucking item box right there. That goes on forever.
You'll notice that I've only gotten 2 stars from this level. There's a little cloud cannon that I deliberately walked past. Those are in a few levels. I think it was like 6 or 7 little cloud cannons. Unfortunately, every single cloud section in the game, it'll have a star at the end, and all the stars require jumping no matter what.
Yeah, good point. Also, I figured, well, my brain was thinking you had to press A to jump.
You actually don't. They just shoot you automatically.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there are some that are close, I guess. Like, you can sort of cat swipe at it, and it looks like it'll hit the star in the cloud area. But it does not. And I tried with other characters, but they all have the same hitbox, apparently. So it does not change whether you use Toad or Luigi. Because, I mean, Luigi's bigger, and it barely sort of connects. So I thought, okay, Luigi will work. And no, it's the same hitbox. But changing characters anyways requires pressing B and then A, which would increase the sort of overall ape count. It's not in a level, you're at the character selection screen, but I'm avoiding all A presses, you know. I'm not just mashing the A button whenever I'm not in a level because it's not being counted, so that is the thing. Also, look at this. So first of all, I'm holding down the A button, you know. If you exit water while you're holding the A button, she'll just jump. Like, it's nothing, it's not like a special sort of thing, like with the little propeller cap. No, she just jumps. It's just a normal jump.
It's free jumping.
She just jumps. This is the only like free jump I can think of. Like, it's just she just jumps. I don't understand it. I didn't even know until I like re-recorded this level, because I like recorded this level and like went back to it thinking, oh, how can I improve this? And I found out you just get a free jump. It's exceptionally strange.
Yeah.
And I think it's only relevant in this level, if possible.
Might be worth thinking the other water levels of.
So here, it might have looked like I just jumped there or pressed something. That depends on the tides. So what I did is I ground pounded to get a little bit of height, and then I hit the shore. And if you hit the shore of the water, while it's descending during a certain portion of your ascent, you will gain a little bit of height and be able to wall cling. Every other circumstance, you will just sort of be at where the water and the terrain meet, and you won't be able to wall cling because you're just too close to like sort of like the solid surface below you. But that specific sort of situation allows you to wall cling and get that star without pressing the A button, which is really good because there really isn't much wiggle room in this route. Like if you sort of subtracted a star or two from a level, it would be danger zone. You may have to actually, you know, do the dirty and like press the A button for a star. God forbid. And that is the level. This has a very nice gated section which has holes and you can just fall and
hooray.
No problems there.
No bullshit.
Yeah. I like those birds. I just noticed those. My brain is like, I've been doing the Pet the Ball photography run, and that has a lot of small birds that you gotta photograph.
Yeah. And
the small birds are scared so easily. I like seeing the small birds in this game now is just making me think like, oh no.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So I think this will be our first extra level in the run. So I mentioned how I try to cut out, you know, all A presses, like just even the overworld ones. These are, I guess you could call the optional overworld A presses, and these are so that I can get stars from these levels. I guess also spoiler alerts. I think none of the optional levels have any A presses because we're trying to, you know, never trade A presses for stars. But these are definitely, I guess, an overall optional or extra 2 A presses. But yeah, this level is scot-free. There's no A button here. Smooth sailing. The boost pads are nice because the sort of fact that you don't get much speed when you're not jumping is it like isn't much of a factor when you just have these boost pads giving you speed. So we have our friend the Tanuki suit back here again. Every time we fall, we're gonna be sent into a glide, sort of a slow glide, because I'm still holding in the B button always. It sort of replaces Peach and Daisy's glide. We're gonna go back to Catsuit. And oh, I guess after this actually, yeah. We have that star. And yeah. That is the level. I actually forgot. I don't switch to Catsuit until later on, because you grab the flagpole faster without being Catsuit. But yeah. Tanuki really helps make this level a lot easier. I think to my knowledge, all of that can be done without Tanuki, but it's extremely precise and awkward, and I am not the biggest fan of that level without Tanuki. Another worthwhile mentioning for the overworld is that, you know, going in a pipe requires an A press. We're not counting those overall, or that's, you know, we're not counting those because we're not in a level. You can also exit an area like that by using the map screen and then pressing A there, but it's still one A press. So there's no sort of A press better way to exit an area you enter from a pipe. Using the map or the pipe itself is both one A press. This trick is awkward. Landing on those enemies, so whenever you enter a float and try to land on an enemy like that, like I just did, the game acts very, very strange, and oftentimes will make you take damage because it doesn't consider you really, I guess, above the enemy, because you're sort of like your toes are touching it. So it's almost like you're in the enemy, and it's like you take damage usually when you sort of fall onto an enemy like that at a similar height. And so landing on that little enemy bounce is not easy at all. Also not easy, this star. You can dive to grab it really easily. You saw there how I almost fell in the water. It is not like a... That is no easy task. There's a lot of small tricks to it. Here we're going to sort of fly over and go up here. There are so many small things here that took so much time to figure out. I don't know if I can really touch them all, just to say that this is a very involved level. That's just a small time saver. I didn't need to do that, but it helps. So here's a spot where the catsuit helps immensely. You need to jump on these. Unless you swipe on them.
Thank God.
I love your involvement with the... You want to not press the A button.
Oh, that's clever.
But yeah, for some reason, when you swipe on them, also, it's kind of buggy, and sometimes we'll just hit it twice. I think it's because you're on a moving platform, so it's just like handling moving platforms is kind of awkward. We're going to grab the star here, and we're going to just mosey on down to... There it is.
That is scary.
This is a extremely involved level. Yeah. To be able to just watch it and look back and see it done is very fun, because it's just like, there it is. I think we've gone, since the ghost house, not without a single air press so far. But unfortunately, we're at the end of the world now. What that means. World tree. Help me. This blue hair basically looks kind of like a grandma. Like her hair being very like poofy.
Yeah.
This is also one of the levels I recorded later on, like a couple days ago. It is a lot of shenanigans. I sort of just fuck around here because it's an auto scroll.
Yeah. So what else are you gonna do?
And after that, I think I get all the stars here. Yeah, we do. So we're gonna grab all the stars, and avoiding all the presses we can. This area is actually quite awkward. You want to attack the bullet bills, but if you attack specific ones at a specific time, it'll leave you open to be hit by others. So it's actually exceptionally awkward. And getting that star is also awkward. This is you can tell this is a whole rigmarole right here. Here come the giant bullet bills. Since there's only one, they're like much easier to deal with, and they also take each other out, which is nice. Big boys. Big boys. I love the cat ears they have. And after that, we get the pipe. You need to stay in those boxes to get in the pipe, or else it's like much more awkward to do. So that is that. I can't get kind of stuck here. I almost like, fall down, but it's all good. And that is all 3 stars in that level. And from here we can just dive on over. The fire row being in the pipe doesn't prevent you from going in because your hitbox is so front-wired with that attack that you're pretty safe. This is Pom Pom. Pom Pom is a little weird because she's like much more easy to run into when you're sort of like not in the air. But it's not too crazy.
Marzipan. Pom Pom.
Pom Pom. Okay, I'm just thinking of the opening screen of the main web page.
Team games.
Characters.
Ay, man.
Alright, 21 A presses now. Did we have any guesses in chat as to what the final count is? I think Jennifer guessed 82. Yep. Y'all have seen a decent bit of the run now to sort of see, I guess, what to expect. There are 8 worlds in the game. 74. You forget TPK. All your money's on the sex number. Everyone wants the 69. You're gonna go right for 69. Well, there it is. Negative A presses. Final count 15. That's cute.
The little like that thing that they put on like horn instruments. The mute, yes. I love that mute that they use on the whatever
Horns, 20 instruments.
The horn instruments. Oh, I remember you messing around with this one.
Yeah, these are funky.
Funky.
Is it this one? Oh yeah, I think I recorded this when you were here. I don't remember.
I remember you doing this one.
So you cannot jump here. We're not gonna jump. We don't like jumping. We need to make sure that when one of these sprouts out of the ground, we stand on them. Because again, we need to go as fast as possible. So we need to. And apparently how this works, to sort of spoil a bit of the illusion, there is no RNG with these. They will act the exact same way every time. So they always spawn on the left for the first one, and then spawn on the right for the second one. And then the third one is a bit weird because it has the ones that are a bit hungy. So you have to be a bit wary. For example, none of those can be like stood on and then like take me to the top. They're just not a thing. And there we go. So there's a star over there, but because the pipe forms out of the ground and that's an entirely gated area, if you were to go for the star, you would not be able to get back onto the pipe. So we have to sort of just ride it and then stay there. And we press the jump button.
There has to be a way to fight that. There has to be. It would cut down 78 presses.
It would be really good if this castle area could be defeated. I know you're tired of sex jokes, but I have to say 69, 68, 81. Is there a reason that I don't go for the TP pop with the flagpole? It's slower.
Yeah, because like
it goes pop, and then you go pew, compared to like bewing immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, welcome to World 4. This world has some nonsense in it. I think there's actually a lot of nonsense in this world. This is I wouldn't say there are levels in this that are like 3-5 where it's like involved, as to whatever I called it. They're just like ridiculous. So this opens with a vertical section. It's not too weird. These ants, I found out that like don't hit you if you're just like crawling like this. Like the hitboxes just work out. I never knew that.
Man, I feel lied to now.
They're just little ants.
I love them.
Sprixie, baby. There's like a Sprixie hierarchy because there's like the ones that give you like stamps and stuff, and the ones like that, and there's the ones that are like captured and they're like colored a certain. Do they have like crown or do they?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's like some Sprixie hierarchy going on here. So here, you can see the ending. It's very much like a thing, but it's not easy to access without jumping. I mean, riding that takes care of it, no problem. But you know, you want to skip it, but you can only skip it so fast without being able to jump. And look at that fence. That sure is gated in, isn't it?
Oh, no way to bounce off the funny ants.
No. I don't think there is. Yeah. 23 A presses. There's the prime divisor of 69. It is the progenitor of 69 in a way. Spixes are all equal, which is a fashion thing. Also, it's like how in Wind Waker, like Zelda or Ganon steals like all the. He's looking for like girls that look a certain way. He also just captured all the girls that just have crowns because he just likes them that way, I guess. All right, so this level presents many challenges. You can skip an A press by being in the Switch version. You can dive there, and we should do a second jump there. So now I've done 2 A presses in this level, and with so many A presses already invested, we really need to try our hardest to avoid them whenever possible. So, I mentioned how the star route is tight. I also mentioned how this has to be done as fast as possible, the run, because I'm trying to do it really fast. So, with that in mind, some stars, they take time. I'll say that much. Some stars take time. There is no faster route, to my knowledge, to go through this with the amount of A presses we're doing, the minimum amount, as fast as possible, without
getting the timing just right where they're all lined up.
So, what's happening right now is they added a feature, and this is a Switch exclusive trick right here. You cannot get this few A presses without the Switch version. If you die in a level on the Switch version, you keep the stars that you had before you died.
Yes, which is really handy. Although kind of another odd change, but
yeah,
I appreciate it being easier for sure. But
what makes you say it's odd?
I guess like some of the stars very much feel like, you know,
like a risk reward.
Yeah, there's the risk reward factor of it.
The like Mario Galaxy looking level with like the really awkward. I guess it's like a stamp or I don't know.
Or I guess like, you know, it's easier for me to like if a star's in a really tricky spot, I you know, can go for it and sacrifice a life for it, and it doesn't really feel like there's as much consequence to it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, definitely some of the stars in this game are very much like that. You had to like they're really hard to get without dying. So it kind of feels like it gets rid of that challenge a little bit.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the second level you get in the post game with the galaxy area, and it's like all the moving platforms, and it's like really hard to like just not die ever.
Yeah, I mean it's fine for me just playing casually, but I guess it kind of does feel like it kind of cheapens the impact of the stars.
Well, there are trade-offs.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
The benefits is that
You can do this fancy.
there's a star down there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna grab it. And so we grab that checkpoint. The checkpoint's right behind us, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have our, if you look at the inventory right now, we have the cat's suit in our inventory. Chinuki is equipped. We're going to lose Chinuki as a result. And because we want cat suit for like a million reasons, we're gonna just immediately re-become cat suit after we die. So that's very helpful.
Reject humanity, return to cat.
Return to kitty. If you look at the top right, it's not exactly like seconds either. Like it's like Mario time. At least to my eye, it seems like, I know in Mario Bros. 1 at least it's like a very like not very much not seconds. This one also doesn't seem like it's seconds. I'm not entirely sure. I also know the timer feels like it goes faster when it's the music's faster because it's like really tense, but it is not, to my knowledge at least. I guess while we're here, we can take a nice acknowledgement as to the A press counter. That is not part of the game's normal UI, but it sure does look like it, doesn't it? I had to manually add that to every instance where gameplay happens in a level. Occasionally the HUD will fade in or animate out. I had to recreate all of that. You can even see here that the A press counter isn't even centered because the camera icon is there.
Yeah.
So I have to also keyframe that, and I had to do so much like animating just for the A press counter. Technically I didn't have to. No, I had to. Listen, it would break your immersion if it were not like that. You know the piranha plants? They're good. Funky. Funky. You would make the scene an animated desktop. I'm running out of time. Ooh. I actually, one time I ran out of time, like I was fucking around so much that I actually ran out of time like right before I got the star. So there I gave myself like 8 seconds of buffer because I was like too much of an idiot one time. Look at that centered A press counter. Someone had to do that manually. Anyways, now we're back and we're cat. So that is a stamp. Stamps add an extra for world A press count. I think you can't avoid that. It's fine. We don't care about those as much as we do in level A presses. Here, please look at this. This thing is like extremely stupid. It's not random. It has an order. It goes like mushroom, flower, cat, then raccoon, and then star. It's not random, but like I am not like a robot. To me, it's random. That is like extremely annoying.
Yeah. That
took a lot of time because I actually need Tsunuki suit after this. Like I just lost it, but I need to get it back because there's actually like a late edition, like a very late edition. I had routed basically the entire run, went through the entire game, and realized I arrived at Bowser with 169 stars. And I was like, well, shit. I need to find a star that didn't require an A press, and I did, but it requires Tsunuki suit. So we get to do the funny mystery box. TLDR. There you go. So have the flagpole. Are you all happy now? Oh, that went by fast, even though it was like 8 minutes long. I'm glad you're here, because I don't know how I would feel that time.
Yeah.
There's like one more of those also. But like no more than one.
Yeah. I am getting sleepy, but I want to stay awake for you.
Okay. Well, that's like very sweet. Well, you don't have to also.
I want to help with the stream. But I am getting sleepy. Funny rock boy.
The A press counter animated to make room is indeed fantastic. Thank you. Here's the funny rock.
I had almost thought you had like coded that into the game.
It looks so natural. Well, absolutely nothing's happening. I guess I'll say that the hardest part of that, I wouldn't even say animating it was hard. Making the A button icon. So I was gonna just take an icon from the game and just put it there.
Yeah. But
the UI is very distinct. It has a silver stroke border and a darker gray interior with the gradients. And it has a drop shadow. A very subtle drop shadow. I need to recreate all that. That was fine though. The bigger thing is like getting an A button, like just an A that looked okay. None of the game's in-game fonts look proper. Like the font that says Beep Block Skyway, that did not look correct. And there's no like A button icon in the game. They never tell you press the A button, I don't think. If they do, it's not like circled like a button. It's just like it's the word, you know, A. So that was like actually a lot of work. Anyways, this level is cool. I mean, it's cool because it has music and I like it in that manner. I like it casually a lot. But in this speedrun specific manner, it's interesting because it has the cherry. And the cherry is very neat because it lets me do things I couldn't otherwise do. I mentioned before how we banned co-op because you can throw the character and sort of get freedom with that. You actually cannot throw with the double cherry though, which is a very deliberate and interesting decision because the double cherry is just like single player co-op, you know. Someone had the code like you cannot throw yourself with double cherry, which is interesting. Very specific. You want to be lined up here. That's actually one of the hardest parts of the level is getting the two daisies lined up because they do not play nicely very well. Here they actually get desynced, but it actually works out because these switches over here are not, you know, glued together. And we get the star! Yay! So here we just sort of kill off the other daisy. It's kind of awkward. She eventually fades away into the ether. And that is Beatbox Skyway. With the not so hidden Luigi. Yay! And that is a 4-5? 4 something without an A press. And all 3 stars. Actually, wait, no, that's like 2 stars actually. Yeah, well, first off, I got some bad news for y'all. I got 68 stars and we're never gonna hit 69.
68 stars, but...
You're very cute.
I'm very sleepy.
You can sleep if you want.
I wanted to be up and light wouldn't help you.
You should do what you want to do.
Well, I know what I want to do. I just don't have the awakeness.
So this is I forget the name of this level. Doesn't really matter. This level is actually pretty neat. It changed a bit through the development of this run. The way that it ends in this version is not exactly what I initially sort of intended and recorded months and months ago. A lot of the bulk of the drum was recorded in like March and April. This is actually a re-record from after that section because I re-approached this project a few weeks ago and was like really thinking like, okay, how can I jazz this up even more? I like re-looked at every level. I added the Tanuki suits and found some fun stuff. So first off, getting that star I just got is like ridiculous. I didn't really talk about it, but like you saw that it was a thing.
Yeah.
Here we can Tanuki glide and we can sort of skip the sort of auto scroller bits and just immediately sort of ride the bitty bugs and get all the way to the end. And unfortunately there's an A press at the end, but the auto scroller skip is pretty cool. You can skip some of it with the like enemy bounces without Tanuki, but you can skip much more of it with Tanuki. Do you want me to, like, let me see. My shoulder is not very, like, layonable. How about this? Here we go. Alright, so the Toad House. 4-Toad. Or not Toad House. House. 4-House. So we need our cat suit back, and we were initially treated with a problem. We were timed. We have little bounce pads, and we cannot climb up the wall on time. So we're gonna do 2 A presses here. And we're gonna mosey on over to here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Good night. Alright.
Enjoy.
I will. Alright. Jen has gone to the sleep zone. Hi. So we're getting tons of stars left and right. The fact that we spent 2 A presses at the start is very worth it because there are so few stars to get otherwise without pressing A buttons. This level, I think, is the first instance of specifically spending A presses just for stars. But again, that is only a Toad House thing. And actually A press there as well. So 3 for this entire house, but we've gotten 8 stars. So very, very much worth it. And we actually complete this toad house. That is not true for all toad houses. So this is the one we did in World 3. Or not World 3. World 2? Yeah. But yeah, all 10 stars, and with 3 A presses. Text boxes and Captain Toad. Technically that doesn't A press for the stars, question mark. Yeah. Isn't it inefficient? It's a load-bearing A press. Wait, 5 for 3. You mean for the Captain Toad level? You get 5 stars on the Captain Toad level. And you don't get text boxes afterwards, so only your first Captain Toad level has A presses. It's all good, I promise. The level I just did gave me 10 stars for 3 A presses. Anyways, to talk about this level. This level is ridiculous. This was the, like, one of the levels I recorded in the later June batch, and this is exceptionally ridiculous. So right off the bat, we have the star. It's great. The pipe, though. This is the backup star I mentioned that I routed later on, because it is so janky. I didn't actually think that was possible until I like tried again. The way you sort of get momentum off of a wall cling is very specific. Usually you get little to no momentum, but you can get quite a lot if you do it in a certain manner. It's really hard to explain, but there are just advanced ways of like stopping climbing walls to where you can just barely get that star and exit the pipe without pressing the A button. And now we are here. This entire ramp obviously is like a whole jumping puzzle, but you can't jump, so it's kind of ridiculous. It's it's very goofy. And so now we have Tanuki, and we're gonna glide on over. We're gonna glide on over to the closest platform and not the further platforms. We want the damage boost in a very specific manner, where we're gonna take damage here, and we have iframes, and we're gonna write out those iframes for that whole duration. And so now we're gonna chill here and wait for the platform to come back, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna iframe through that, iframe through that, and iframe through that, and the frames actually last that entire duration. That needs to be done very specifically to not take damage from any of those, so that we can still have our cat suit. So we burned through our entire raccoon suit for iframes, and still the cat suit at the very end. And that is the level. So, yeah. No A presses, several stars, total madness. And we're now at 83 stars. So now we have a bit of a calm bit. We just have a very normal thing. We have the Fire Bro. And there it is. This is a bit of a calm bit after the entire hell that just ensued. You just take them out and they're gone. And we can grab the star with the cat suit, as we have been doing. You'll notice there that we exit the level quite fast, because you have to have your timer counted at that end of a level, and that level is like a speedy one, so the timer just doesn't have much to sort of decrease from. This is great, everything's one shot. I'm glad you like it. This was very much the goal. Whole masterpiece. I named this file in Adobe Premiere masterpiece.mp4 because I was just like, this is my baby. Alright, this is 4 Castle. This level is not too crazy, it's actually quite short. We're gonna do a bit of a daredevil dive here. We can barely grab onto that ledge before falling into the lava, and we're gonna do it again here, because it's a much taller platform. And we're going to get that star. There's a mystery box right over here on the right, and that mystery box does not have a star you can get without jumping, so we cannot do that. This star, obviously, you don't need to jump for it. So that's easy to take care of. There's a backup cat bell like Boomba over there. We don't need it. We're actually not going to be using a cat bell as our secondary ability for a little bit. So do not need that. And here we go. This boss is pretty much the exact same without jumping because you don't need to exactly jump anyways. I mean, if you don't have a power-up, you know you need to jump on everything. The whole game's harder in that way. But if you have a melee, like a cat swipe, then there's no reason you would even jump in this ordinarily. And we can grab one of the little leftover babies and just use them for the next cycle. Very helpful. So that is the World 4 boss fight. And with that, we were able to mosey on over to Sprixie. And there's our 27th A-Press. 4 worlds and 27 A-Presses down. You could say the run's halfway over, but it really isn't. Because again, like I mentioned, World 1 and 2 are way smaller. World 1 and 2 combined are about the length of World 7 and 8. So, very, whatever the opposite of front-loaded is, and loaded. But we're making progress. Ta-da! Alright, so World 5. 5-1 is a whole rigmarole. So first off, you have the Captain Toad level right there. That Captain Toad level requires the Gamepad Cursor, and that's banned. So we already can't do it. Sort of touches on how it's a bit of a weird thing to ban the Gamepad Cursor, but it really trivializes and makes the run nowhere as cool as it would be, so it's fine. We're going to enter the shell here, and the shell will turn orange because it's Daisy. Really good mod. And we're going to use the shell hop here, climb onto this, jump off of it because you cannot exit off without jumping, and get that little keyhole. Now we're going to take that exact same shell from before, we left it in a good spot, throw it at these coins, and get a boomerang. This is the first instance of the boomerang you can get in the run. And the boomerang is exceptional. It allows you to grab things you could not grab otherwise, like that coin. You can actually throw immediately upon exiting a pipe, so you can get that without jumping at all, and it's really good. So far, we've pressed the A button once in this level, I want to say. Yeah. Here, we're in an entirely enclosed space with no walls to cling onto without jumping initially. You might think we're going to jump here. You'd actually be wrong, because the Koopa shell jump barely allows you to make it onto that platform. You need to get first frame exits. Like the first frame you're in that shell, you need to exit it, basically. The first frame possible, rather. And yeah, we can do that without jumping. So here's this pipe. This pipe is not that close to a wall. There are these fences, but if you try to glide off of that fence and go onto the pipe, you cannot enter it. So here's our friend the money bag. The money bag can be manipulated by, if you go a certain distance from the money bag, its AI turns off. The money bag, once hit, will walk around infinitely until... indefinitely, it'll just walk around forever. And because this area has all these holes in the fence, it will eventually fall off the platform and just die. So being able to deactivate its AI is exceptionally good. Here we're going to pause buffer because this is extremely precise. And land in here. And now we're going to press the A button a bunch of times because this is a required level. And now we're at 33 A presses. Huzzah. I do not think there's too much more text after this in the run. Quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that is the bulk of the text boxes, because they're all for like first time occurrences, of course. But yeah. A lot of A presses and text, but in terms of gameplay, we only have one so far. Notice I use the word so far because there's a pipe here, and we jump to enter it. This section is quite awkward. These fences are actually exceptionally hard to glide onto. They are much harder to get onto than the other ones because of how skinny they are. But we can do it nonetheless and get on top. So our A-press count has changed significantly. 34 A-presses now. It feels so good to just watch that level go by because that level is exceptionally difficult in so many manners. Very, very worthwhile to have that behind me. And that was good to watch. Okay, I just like tilted the mic. I don't know if that was loud, sorry. Now we're at 5 dash something, like 3 or whatever. So this level has a required A-press at the very start, unfortunately. To make up for it, the level is so short that there's obviously no more A-presses coming. The counterpart to this level is 5-2. That level has, it's like a carnival level with little trapeze grabbing things. Those cannot be removed from and taken off of without jumping. So carnival levels with those things we don't want to do. So 1 A-press here for 2 stars is not too bad. I think the carnival level actually has 3 stars you can get, but it has more A-presses involved. I don't exactly remember the situation with that carnival level, but it's like not a bad level in terms of getting stars, but you know, the jumps, the A-presses, they happen. But we skipped it, so that's not a thing anymore. 5-A. There are 5 of them now. It's actually quite difficult to not get damaged by any of these with purely melee attacks and no jumping, but not the biggest deal in the world. Sad day for Clown Daisy fans, you're right. Alright, and that is that. So, coming at us next is the Savannah level. Its name escapes me, but that doesn't really matter. This level is really neat in a like normal person playing manner and in a speedrun manner. It has these quite tall vertical sections where you're supposed to use a pipe cannon rather. Pipe cannons require an A-press every time you use them, and they're always segmented in like groups of 4. So we really don't want to use them. So we're gonna climb up on these rocks after climbing on the wall, go over here and get the star, and then we're gonna just land on top of the pipe platform up here and continue climbing up, and we can skip that entire pipe cannon rather section. This pipe cannon, you cannot be skip it. If you try to skip it by gliding over and diving, you'll hit a void and just die. So required A-press there. Here are the bunnies. They go boing and pyong and stuff. They're quite exceptionally difficult to catch. They have a really fast running speed in this area, and you can't jump, so it's really awkward. But with corner cutting and such, you can grab them, no problem. Is this a new Mario Golf game? Not to my knowledge. So here we can barely grab that wall. We're super close to the ground, and you normally can't grab the wall when you're that close to the ground, but it just barely works out. And from here we can barely make it onto these cannons and land on these rocks and make it up to the very top. And then over here, there's just a green star, green coins, and those are pretty simple to grab. It would be faster to grab them, obviously, if you had the Gamepad Cursor, because you could just like sort of tap them. But we don't have that. A lot of changes. The very shape of this run is made entirely by the rule set, not allowing co-op and Gamepad Cursor. But it produces the most interesting run, so I think it's good. Okay. So now we have 2 levels. One uses the little jumping platforms, and one uses this little cave level. We're gonna go into the cave level. This area is a bit awkward. These bomb-bombs are really close to the ground, and I mentioned earlier, if you hit an enemy that close to the ground, you're likely gonna take damage, so I have to hit it very specifically and precisely. But it works out okay. Here we're gonna hit the POW block, and we're gonna grab the star with our boomerang. We now are in a very secluded situation, and those walls cannot be grabbed because they're so close to the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're going to land on the Goomba after we enter a float for a couple seconds, or frames, or else we take damage. And so after sort of maneuvering this very specifically, we can not take damage and enter a enemy bounce there, and go on our way. This bunny is obnoxious, and I don't like it. And that's all I have to say about that gameplay. There's the cloud cannon. Those cloud cannons always take you to places in which they have stars you can only get with jumping. So, not an interest of ours in the slightest. You can apparently climb those walls here and get in those little catacombs corners. I had no idea you could walk in those, but you can. And it's very goofy. And then after that, we just need to climb in this little white fence. It's exceptionally difficult to get on top of. I actually had to make a setup just for that because it's so awkward. So we sort of setting up the setup. Exceptionally strange. And without the cat dive from this game, I don't know how easy it'd be to do. But there you have it. I think that was without A presses? I wasn't keeping track. That's too many things to keep track of. It was fast though, and we got 2 stars. So we're a little over halfway done with our star count. We need 170 stars to beat the game, and we're at 95 now. We're gonna go in here and fight this Fire Bro. All of the little optional mini-boss fights in the game we end up doing for stars, and they really help get us all the way to our final star counts. None of these mini-boss fights, you know, involve pressing the A button to do, so they're just free stars, essentially. Getting in that wall was surprising. Yeah, that level has so many moments that seem like they shouldn't or wouldn't work, and especially when routing it seemed like it wouldn't be possible. For that level, I actually initially thought I would have to grab the star by dying and just doing that, and that's what I had routed initially, and then I messed with it more a couple weeks ago and realized you can just do that, and that was very very good. Because dying introduces problems with power-ups and stuff. Speaking of power-ups, we're going to get the Tanuki suit here. We're going to immediately ditch it because we need to do wall climbs, of course. But we're going to want the Tanuki suit for some upcoming stuff, so good to grab it here. This level has this fun little trampoline, guys. We're going to grab one, position it under the star, and go all the way over here. And by climbing this all the way to the top, going Tanuki at the very top, and then landing in the trampoline, we can get the star. And to my knowledge, you actually cannot grab that star without doing that maneuver. It may have looked like I just barely almost got the star there, but it's actually impossible without the trampoline, to my knowledge. It just barely doesn't work, and so you exceptionally, definitely, definitively need the trampoline. But it helps for this section as well. We can bounce off of it, return to Nuki, and we want to land in a very specific railing right here. This section is elevated. It's the only elevated section here to allow us to wall climb. This whole section we're walking past has nothing in the terms of getting in a wall, and so we're gonna do it like that. This section also has enemies that are constantly shooting at you, and they are like homing to a degree. So I'm actually gonna be fighting some of them because there's just no other way to avoid taking damage easily. This searchlight here wasn't really possible to avoid. They spawn when you hit the searchlights. You just have to play by their rules, basically. And we can go all the way up here, land in the raised platform, and get a bit stuck here. It's exceptionally weird walking across these, but that is the level. Alright, so we're almost done at this point with World 5. I'm trying to remember which level this is. Oh, this is the one with the weird little... Yeah, King Kathunk. That guy. So this level has these little rotating spiked things. They are very cycle based, so this level's pace is very much decided by them entirely. Getting the stars in this level also means playing by cycles and those rules, but nothing is timed in such of a manner that you cannot do it moving at the slow pace of not jumping. So we're going to activate that little ring, go over here, and although this is timed, it's not timed too precariously to where it's not possible without jumping. This castle is very quick. Already at the checkpoint already. And we're now going to get our second star. This one is actually inside one of the little rotating spikes. So we need to first gain height by climbing this wall. It's exceptionally finicky because it's on an angle. I'm going to use the little football guy here to get some height. We're going to go to Nuki here and land in this platform. Make sure not to get the stamp because that makes things slower. And once the cycles are right, we're going to glide through this and get our star. And then try to turn cat without taking damage. And from here, we just have this small little section leading up to the boss. And there it is. There's a star right above us. We need to climb a wall to get to it. These walls are also really awkward. I got a bit stuck here. But after all that, we can go grab it. So this boss requires you to hit its weak spot after it lands on the ground and sort of rotates around. And unfortunately, there's no sort of easy way to do any of that without just, like, jumping. So we end up doing that. This boss follows the typical sort of Nintendo game design rule of you hit it 3 times, so you can probably guess what's going to happen to the A press, or you can probably guess what's going to happen to the A button 3 times. There is a wall nearby you can use to sort of climb and then like jump off of. But unfortunately, if you sort of cling on the wall nearby and then go off of it, there's no way to sort of take advantage of that and just hit the boss. So you're just required to jump there. And because we're in a castle flagpole area, we also have to press the A button right here. But with all that done, we have World 5 done. I disappeared into the aether. Yeah, you could say that. I'm just speaking my thoughts from the silent cloak of not having a camera on. Alright, World 6. This world rather, has some very creative levels. Definitely a lot of jank going on in this world. Starting off with 6-1, we have these little rounded sections which let us sort of get a bit of height. And this first star is nothing too crazy. These pipe sections are of course no different from when if you can jump or press the A button, because you're just sort of moving around. There are a lot of fuzzies in this level, operating on cycles, and it can be very tricky to sort of find the right cycle when you're limited by the running speed of not being able to jump. Like that looks very close, for example. And here actually wait out and do an extra sort of rotation. This whole bit here is just very specifically sort of timed to get what I need and get out and not take damage. Here though we can just avoid all of this because this is an entirely sort of vertical tower section, and we can just climb up and be done with it. A lot of game level design stuff going on there. We can just skip it. So here we need to wait for the right cycle and then just hop on in. You do not need to enter these pipes to get these keyholes. That's especially true for runs where you can jump. But in a no jumping low A press run, it really isn't worthwhile trying to grab those key coins sort of the manual way. It doesn't really just work out in a very fast manner. This flagpole section is excellent. They give you a nice no jump manner to get to the flagpole. There's no fence. It's just it's all good. Alright. Here is 6-2. So 6-2, it's a lot like 4-2. It's a ghost house. Well, 4-2 isn't a ghost house. There are things happening in this level. So first off, there's bullies. There's a very like sort of secret star here. There aren't very many like it in the game. But if you defeat all those enemies here, you get a star. So we're now going to skip the item box for warp box for now, and activate this flagpole, and then go back into the warp box. Because although we can progress into the level right now, there's something we want in here. We want this star. So we're going to turn, we're going to grab this. And there is no way to exit without pressing the A button. It's impossible. You would need to swim, you would need to press the A button a bunch of times. That's not happening. So we're going to, again, just wait in here. And yeah, this is a very, very essential star. I mean, all stars are essential in a way. There's no getting around this. This is as fast as it gets. By fast, I mean just staying in place. To my knowledge, there are no more. This is the last waiting bit of the run. This is y'all's last chance to grab some popcorn or something. The essence of speed. Yeah, exactly. And since we're going to be dying here eventually, we also need to turn Tanuki. So we've got our catsuit saved now for afterwards. Which also means we'll lose Tanuki here. I'm trying to think. It'll be a little while before we get Tanuki again, so these are our final parting moments with the Tanuki suit. I guess in the since it's just me here, if y'all have any questions or other things to ask. Here's where to field them. Not that there's a field, there's just wet. I got really bored here and tried to like time her like duckings, whatever you want to call it, her crouches to the music. But she can't crouch very fast, so like you can only musically crouch to like at a certain rate, like a half rate musical crouching. It's a very specific art, not for the light of heart. I will say this star would be a lot faster to grab if this game had like Sonic 2 tier like drowning. Although I cannot imagine what kind of terror-filled music they would make on a ghost house if it had that same thing going on. There she is. As you can see, it's Daisy. 100 seconds left. Ayy. Did you know she's Daisy? Not everyone knows this, but it's true. My chat disconnected. That is a problem. Oh. Nobody say anything. Why did I do that? I haven't disconnected from Twitch. Oh. That's so weird. Well, chat problems aside, we're almost done here. Goodbye, Daisy. Goodbye, wet world. Doink, doink. There she goes. Alright. Back at it again. So now we have our Katsu back and we're moving. This feels like invigorating. So all 3 stars, not a single A press. It's pretty good. This last section requires more bullies to fight. They are quite weird to fight without jumping, I will say, but it's not too terrible. We're not quite done with the terror that is this level though. So there is not a fence here to grab. There's just a wall. However, there are torches. But I know what you're thinking. Torches hurt, and they sure do. How these torches work is there's a portion of them which has a flame hitbox, and there's a portion of them which have a just a regular round. And so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to land on the torch while not landing in the fire spot, because landing in the torch is the easy thing. But you want to land in a specific top right corner, I guess bottom right corner of it, where you would not take damage. And it's exceptionally precise, to where it's so hard to do in a fast manner. I say as managers attempt to be fast, but it looks like that. Definitely a switch-only trick because you need the dive for it. But that is, after everything said and done, 6-2. Absolutely 0 A presses, all 3 stars. Switch exclusive trick in so many ridiculous manners I couldn't even begin to start. And lost timeout in the game, which is nice. Also, my chat came back. It seems to be just haunted by the ghosts. But I have chat pulled up again. So right after that we have this Firebro fight. This is the 3rd Firebro fight, and they sort of intensify with difficulty. So we have 5 of them now. we intentionally attacked the boomerang one last because while all the enemies will sort of jump up and move after a portion of time, the boomerang bro will wait until its boomerang returns, which makes it much easier to hit up and mess with. Because otherwise, it would just jump, and you'd have to wait for it to sort of come back down. So the boomerang one is the one to leave for last. (6-4). Alright. So we're going to start in this level. We're going to grab a backup cat suit. The age of having a tunicky suit in our inventory is long gone. And now, we're going to navigate this. There's not really a reason you need to jump in this level. That doesn't make it terrifying because of the giant purple goop underneath. This platform over here luckily can be grabbed onto, and just make our way up like that. There is a star up here you can get. Is it over here? Is it earlier? No, this is the end of the level. Okay, well, there's a star you can get in this level by collecting green coins. And unfortunately, those green coins can all be, I think it's like they can all be gotten, but the star is at a height that you can't reach without jumping. Something about the height. It's very unfortunate. So the second star in this level is entirely unobtainable. But the third star is in no way unobtainable. It's just floating, and almost requires Katsu even if you were jumping, because it's just so high up. Unfortunately, yeah, there's no like precarious flame torch to grind on here. It's just you jump and you suffer. Could we say Kate is a podcaster with this stream now? I have no opinions. Is this a recording? Yes, this is a recording. This is a pre-recorded run. This is like essentially almost like a task in attempting exceptionally unrealistic to pull off tricks and maneuvers to try to diminish the A press count as much as possible. You don't get to World 6 of 3D World with 41 A presses in a level without some hurt and some tears. So that bully fight, there's a couple of them in this run. They're all the exact same. Like, there are boss fights that are ramped up. Like, there's the histocrat fight. There's like the normal histocrat fight, and there's the ramped up histocrat fight. But that bully is like always the exact same. Even like the ramped up one, it's like not. It's not ramped. It's just there. So this level is exceptionally vertical. There's all these floating clouds. There is cannons, and there's all these things going on. But because we can just climb, it's not really a big problem. This first star is just right up here. You have to sort of go over here to start climbing, but it works out. And we can go eventually into this warp box. The ramped up bully breathes fire. Oh, is that true? Interesting. Yeah, it never gets a chance to breathe. I would never know that. So we're very close to the end of this level. We completely avoided any second star. The second star in this level is a warp box, and you can only get the star in the warp box by jumping. And so there's no way to get that star without, you know, pressing the A button. And so with that, we have that level without any A presses. There are an exceptional amount of levels in this run that have no A presses, and I'm quite proud of that. Quite proud about that. Heard a talk. Alright, so there are 2 levels here. There's the fuzzy time level and this cloud level. We're actually going to do this level first. This is an optional level, which, spoiler alert, means no A presses. So it is a snow level, so you know, we technically can use the little ice glitch to gain speed, but the ice over here doesn't really exactly lead us anywhere good. Also a bit of a problem here. Right above us is a star. You can see its shadow floating, but you cannot access it without jumping, so that is totally out of reach. That is not happening. This cannon does not require an A press, which is nice. And so we're gonna get the second star on this level. This is a very precise and difficult star to grab. Gonna take damage here because enemies are mean. Not exactly intentional, that's why I have the star. So we're gonna do the speed glitch here. We're gonna mash the crouch button over and over again. You can't gain that much speed because your initial momentum is so low, and it sort of multiplies your initial speed. But you can get just enough speed to barely, with enough time left, get that star. And it's so exceptionally tight and requires so much mashing, and like it's quite a tight star, but it works out. And I'm definitely proud of that one. That is a star I thought was impossible for quite some time, but it just can be done somehow. I damaged the little like blocking cinder block cement dude there. I don't want to hit me. So here, actually climb onto the pipe to get height. The fence here is so annoying. I actually don't even know if you can climb onto it normally. It's like a really stupid. So luckily the pipe there saves the day. I messed around a little with those fences, and I was just like, no. I don't think I ever once landed on top of them from climbing on a wall. I don't know what's possible. And now, everyone's favorite. So, this level is a doozy. It's an entirely vertical tower where you're being chased, and if you touch the fuzzies once, you die instantly. So, there are tons of walls to climb in here. We're going to first, after the camera pans up a little bit, climb up here. You cannot see what I'm doing up here, but I assure you I'm not jumping. I would never jump. After the camera does its work, we are all the way up here from our first initial climb. We're going to cling to the wall after falling off of that and get up to here without jumping. And with this rotating platform, this is exceptionally awkward to get a float off of and takes a couple tries. But after some work, we can just barely climb onto the wall. And one tech we use here is upon spawning, or upon popping off of a cloud, you can ground pound on it to sort of reinitiate climbing and just sort of like get your climb reset. Because you can only climb a certain distance before the game sort of pulls you off the wall, but the clouds sort of let you reset that with the ground pound. So here will be the first jump of the level. Nothing you can do about that. And you're gonna just keep riding our one jump. The camera here takes a while to sort of pan up, but we're up here. And this is the ending section, so I'm gonna ground pound on the cloud and go into these sort of girders. There's a star up here, and we wanted to jump on those girders, but we need to wait for the correct cycle, because otherwise we would just get crushed, or have to do extra A presses. And we do 2 A presses there, and that is the entire level in 3 A presses. It is exceptionally weird and just completely ridiculous, but 3 A presses is about as small as I could get for that level, and I think it's a good count. And there you have it. So that is most of World 6. I think the castle is next. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, there it is. I need water. I have not drank the whole damn run. Okay. So this is another one of the Bowser Castle auto-scrollers. Nowhere as ridiculous as the first auto-scroller. It has these nice little walls, or these nice little gaps you can fall off of, or cling the walls into. And so, no requirement of jumping. We finally have the Tanuki suit back, but we're just gonna keep it for later. And just go back to Cat. This level is surprisingly straightforward, especially for an auto-scroller, but also especially for like a Bowser level. I want to say there's like 3 or 4 Bowser levels are auto-scrollers. A lot of them are auto-scrollers, but it is in no way like just ridiculous or demanding as many of them are. It's a bit like the opposite priorities that a normal player would have, where here you can like fall to your death, but for us that's an incredible asset because it allows us to do wall clings. And we're gonna grab this bomb, and the hitbox is so damn large you can just like activate that green star easily, which is really good. There are like a bajillion things being thrown right now. There's Fire Bros, Hammer Bros. They are not too hard to avoid, but some of them are really persistent that it's a whole onslaught. But that is in essence the whole damn level. Just get to the end here and enter the pipe. So this is Pom Pom, I want to say. Wait, no, it's not Pom Pom. She's a different room. Never mind. Boom Boom, yeah. This fight is like almost the same, if not the exact same as the prior Boom Boom fight. It's just not any damn different. But still very different from how a jumping player would play it. I switched to Tanuki here. Tanuki can grab the flagpole faster than Cat can, but also we want Tanuki for the upcoming stuff. There's actually a boss level after this, and you don't want Tanuki for boss levels. It's complicated. We want Tanuki though, trust me. So there's our jump. 45 A presses now for in-level A presses. Yo-ho! Okay, so now we unlock the path to World 7. And we're going to pause that a little bit and draw some attention towards World 6 House. This level is all about baseballs. You can grab them with the Gamepad Cursor, but that's not accessible to us. So we're going to use our hands. This star specifically cannot be thrown from a ground level and hit the star. You can't hit the baseball on the star there unless you are a Tanuki. You specifically can't be Cats, because Tanuki suit is a biped and Cat suit is not. So the height you throw the ball at is lower when you're a cat. And so since you're throwing it from ground level at a platform that's pretty ground level, it'll bounce off if you're Cat Daisy, but not Tanuki Daisy. And it's like very I think it's the only interaction in the game that really works like that, but it's a very specific scenario in general that it makes sense. Alright, so boss level, we're gonna want cat save for this, so we're just gonna immediately just become kitty again. And in we go. I am very grateful you can enter these platforms right here. It's like such a strange thing, the way you can enter it. And I feel, I have a doubt you'd even be able to do that without the dive. The switch on the dive there really helps for getting on those platforms, because all the bosses use them, the dedicated boss levels. And it's just really, really good. This boss is quite awkward without being able to jump, because you're sort of always at risk of getting hit. It's not too crazy in this version, but the second version in World 8 is like actually ridiculous. And yeah. So here we're gonna enter the pipe with most of the daisies and have the rest of them grab the star. And yeah, we are gonna have tricks like that to grab all of these boss stars moving forward, and it's a real asset that the double cherry is there. It really lets you have the best of both worlds of like one daisy needing to be in the pipe and one daisy needing to also grab the star. When you have multiple daisies, you can just, you know, it's no problem. Oh, are we? And here's World 7. So, World 7 starts off strong with the lava levels. It's a bit of an increase in difficulty as well, and that means an increase in ways the game wants you to press the A button. So starting off here with cycles with the Fire Bros, we can sort of weave in and out and get that star, and it's no problem. And here we need to defeat the Fire Bro to spawn the warp box. Exceptionally awkward to do that without taking damage, but it's not. We've done it, I'll say that much. Here we need to climb onto this pipe, and you can see a little star there that would spawn green coins. Unfortunately, we actually cannot engage with that. The green coins cannot be grabbed because you cannot move from the bottommost platform where the green coin spawner is to the top platform without jumping, because there's not enough ground for you to climb a wall. The wall is just too close to the ground. And speaking of walls here, there's no way to avoid jumping there. So, 47. Another prime number. Very important to point out the prime numbers. We might actually get 69. What do you mean? That's not a prime number. Why would you want that? Wait, is the final count prime? Well, I can't. That would spoil it. Well, it may or may not be prime. You know nothing. All right, Red Hot Run. This level is honestly ridiculous. It's almost entirely flat, meaning you need to take a severe advantage of the float. And there are obstacles everywhere. This is one of the last levels I've recorded. I actually recorded this last week, I think. Yeah. And it features a cannon, so we're gonna press A there. I'm gonna grab the star. And now we're ready to mosey on over to the final area of the level. We're going to gain some height here so that we can get the star without taking damage. And that whole maneuver you just saw is so precise it boggles the mind. Those girders with spikes are positioned in such a way that it's extremely difficult to what is it? It's extremely difficult to not take damage. You need to move in a really, really specific manner. You would not think that'd be hard, basically, but it is. The final A press count is odd, at least. Yes, it's an odd number. Pretty sure. There's your hint. It's not really much of a hint. Here's my fire bros. Huzzah. So there are so many of them here. You need to defeat them lickety split, and luckily this fire bro, the one on the right, doesn't move up to the upper area, because a lot of them will go up to the upper half after a certain period of time, but that one does not. It's very good. These fire bro things always have way too many enemies to defeat before they move, and a lot of them move to like an only jumpable spot after. They're just jumping around me while I just have to watch. Speaking of jumping, this level would be an alt answer if you could jump in it, that's for sure. This is 7-4. It is a whole rigmarole. So we're waiting for the right cycle here at the start, because we need to ride this platform. And there is lava all over the place, there's dry bones all over the place. You have these platforms here, and you need to make sure that you're not on them anywhere near when they're falling, or else they'll just drag you down into lava. This cycle here is so specific. This level really requires utmost precision. And here we are to just wait for the cycle. So that is the bulk of the level, at least the hard section. That doesn't mean it's not full of sights and terrors, though. This next section has, like, rotating girders, but, like, cylindrical ones. And we need to actually engage with them because we need a star. So we're gonna go over here, climb on this wall, and try not to die. Pretty important. We're going to avoid the upper girder and then avoid the lower girder, and then as the upper girder comes around, just run off of that and go over here. And here we're going to climb the wall, and that is all that. Now there is one disappointment in this level, and that is the fact that you can't glide and reach this platform. This platform is not flat. It is like this weird, like, concave? I don't know how to call it. If anyone knows how to call it, try this thing. It's weird. It's flat on the top and not flat on the bottom. And you cannot glide and like climb onto it. So you need to jump. On the bright side, the A press count now is 49, which is a prime square, and that's exciting to Kate, because it has a square root. And it's prime. I think that's neat. Okay. So now we have 2 bosses ahead of us. We have the upgraded bully, if I talked about, quote unquote upgraded. We'll hit that one up first. I could have honestly just spliced in the video of the other bully battle, because it's the same damn battle. Not literally, I did not splice it. You know, that did not happen before. I didn't go around the back. But you know what? It's the bully. Is the background here different? I don't actually know. Could I have pulled a dream and just like cheated here? I actually have no idea. It's like a sunset background here. Who knows? So, defeating that boss unlocks the path behind it. We will not actually be going to that level though, because it's very wet. That level requires so many A presses. I don't even remember how many, like 20 or 30. to get through. It's pretty funny. Alright. So I'm gonna be grabbing these rocks to just hit the damn thing immediately after it's done spinning around. And there it go. I'm realizing now that this boss is upgraded in the manner that it has the little like red lava trail enemies around. That's how that one's upgraded. I honestly didn't even realize like how they were different until now. Spinny, spinning. The background on that bully fight was different. The other bully was red and not blue. Oh shit. There we go. Alright, welcome to 7-5. Starting with a jump. This level is really complicated. Commentate. So we have to climb and jump first in order to avoid that. Next we need to cling onto this wall and grab this. And this entire tower can be skipped essentially. That does not mean this level is any slouch. We've already invested 1 A-press into it, and I really want to avoid all the further A-presses that I can. We can skip that little trapeze carnival elevator and just go down here ourselves. Now we're going to cling onto this, do a double cling, do a switch exclusive dive there, and barely skip that jump. If y'all watch me run this level on stream, this was actually a discovery I made a few weeks ago. This did not happen on stream. We're gonna jump here again, because there's just no way up without it. And we're making sure to defeat these enemies because there's a sort of a brief auto-scroller bit after we climb to the top, and having to sort of defeat the enemies then, or like go around them, is not worth our time, and we'd also die. And there you have it. So 3 A-presses total. So much work to make it only 3. And now we're actually kind of in a rough spot. We're holding the A button down to get glides, but Daisy's slow movement speed combined with her gliding means she spends so much time descending this than if you were like Toad holding the run button and nothing else, just falling like a brick. It's like exceptionally tricky. It's, I think, recording this level a few weeks ago, I honestly had more trouble doing that than I would like to admit, because it's just really hard to not die there. But we did it. 52 A-presses. Okay, so now we unlock the Toad level. Quite a fearsome Toad level. It's got lava and stuff. I don't think there's too much to say about this Toad level. It's just Toad. There haven't been Toad levels in a while, actually, now that I think about it. Because there isn't one in World 2. There isn't one in World 4, and the World 5 one I skipped. I guess only the odd-numbered worlds have Toad. How odd. But there he is. Toad is good. I was wanting to mess around with mods for Captain Toad, because Captain Toad is an interesting thing. So there's the Captain Toad Switch, Wii U and Switch game, but they ported it to the 3DS also. And since it's running on like the 3D World engine, I really want to know if you could just like port like 3D World levels to the 3DS. I like the idea of like a really downscaled, like chunky, boneless 3DS 3D World thing. All those late 3DS ports are just a treasure. Like the really crunchy Mario Maker 3DS that like can't share levels online. that's a whole thing. Okay, 7-7. Quite a lucky level. This place, we actually need to get rid of our Tanuki here because we are trying to get the boomerang. And it'll help quite a bit. If I'm not mistaken, we actually keep boomerang for the duration of the run, which is nice. This level has a lot of cycles with lava. Nothing too crazy to sort of like wait for, but it's definitely a thing. This next area is honestly more precarious than the first section. It may not look like it, but it's so awkward to just like land in the right places and not get burned, and it's quite a lot. But this level is really quite short. This is already the end of the level in its entirety, and we're just running to the end. This level has a skip, and it's not easy. So we need to land on that little like bullet case looking ass thing. I don't know what to call it. And we need to do it from below here. And it is very unforgiving. Takes a bit of setting up. You have to sort of cat swipe, like very much at a certain frame after you sort of land up. But we did it. And that is yet another level without the A-press. Alright, 7-Castle. This castle is quite awkward. It also starts with an unfortunate thing called the A-press. The A button being pressed, rather. Yeah, that's a thing. The rest of this level is not too bad at all. You remember this level? It took a while to get it all figured out. I remember getting stuck in this for a while. I'm recording it. Also has some cycle stuff going on with lava. You have to wait here. That looks very scary. Luckily they don't like damage you if you're like right below them. And now you have Bowser. This Bowser fight in a casual playthrough is like quite different from the first one because they add lots of obstacles. But again, since we're not moving the car that much, none of that comes into play. It's just car, and you hit the soccer balls back. It's very funny. And there you go. What a hard boss fight. It's so silly. I'm still like amused to learn that the car doesn't move if you don't. It entirely makes sense. Just like I never thought to just like stop walking. That thought never came up in my mind. Yo-ho. Alright. That's all. Or not. Dun dun. When did I find that out? Don't remember. Don't remember. I also don't remember if I had to re-record this level. I don't think I did, no, yeah. Pretty sure it's the original recording I didn't stream. There it is, Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin. Yay! I like the giant volcano mountain. It's like a bunch of carnival stuff and then also a volcano. Alright, welcome to the World 8. 8-1 is a lot less menacing than 7-1. It's not lava, it's not nothing, it's just like some rain and some spikes. And no boost pads either. Yeah, that too. So we're gonna skip the warp box here because it just takes you down here. Very. This level has a lot of bits where you can just like glide down and skip stuff like that. It's funny. This glide bit here is very unconventional. I also like eat shit and fall because I like land on like a 45-degree angle slope or whatever. All right, this is the very end level. I skipped the second star in this level because it is in a warp box, and the warp box star can only be gotten with jumping, so not available to us, unfortunately, but it's no biggie. This flagpole, fun fact, can only be grabbed through this manner. If you take that warp box and go over there, you just can't grab it. You must dive. It's a very specific, precise dive too, because there's so many ways to approach that and time it, and you'll land in different places. But it works. Da, 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 da. All right. This is a very menacing, very Bowser-like level. It's quite terrifying. It will scare the heart. It's got shortbread and chocolate. This level is actually quite menacing. From a gameplay perspective, it's a lot. So you need to climb up here and get the star. That's not too bad. It's just right up there. But the things that precede it are terrifying. So there are these little shortbread gears, and we need to land on one from the like cake wall, and that is almost that's like one of the hardest things in the whole damn run. It's actually terrifying. Next, we need to slap one of those, then land here, climb the wall, barely touch the ground but not quite, and pop into the pipe. And that is the only way to get up here without pressing the A button. It is like entirely... There are so many ways that's like stacked against you from an avoiding the A press point of view. But it's just barely possible. This level make a crowd of anime fan prom nights? Exactly. Alright. And that's the bit. That's the whole deal. This level is fun to watch because it's so pretty. But I'm glad I'm watching it now because playing it was it was very hard. Yeah. It made that look like a cakewalk. Oh my god, you're right. The Bowser Express. Alright, so this level requires a jump. There is a similar auto-scroller earlier on in the game, which is also on a train, and that does not require an press at the start. But this train has like a bumper on its caboose. I don't quite know how to explain it, but it cannot be glided and climbed like the other one can. So we must jump. But this is a pretty cool level. For one, it auto-scrolls quite fast, which makes me happy. It also has plenty of things to climb, like all these spots that like look kind of concerning are just like, nope, you can climb, you can climb, you can climb here. Here we have a ridiculous green coin thing. You have to activate it with the cat swipe, and you can luckily grab all the coins with just your cat swipe as well. It just takes care of all your problems for you. And that is the level. Nothing too crazy, nothing too ridiculous. This pom-pom fight, however, though, just look at this. Just look at this and know that I can't jump. I'm like surrounded on all sides. Everything touching me is like a hitbox and will remove my catsuit. Also, I'm surrounded by these walls and I must jump. A lot of surroundings here. Alright, 55 presses. Not too high of a number. Do we have any more guesses before we hit the end? No, they all have seen a little bit more. Do any of y'all have changed guesses? I have no A button and I must jump. You'd say 60 something, early 70s, 71. We'll see. Alright, so this level is a bit tricky. You can't jump and you can't see. A lot of restrictions here. It does have one really cool trick I am super proud of. So you have these spiked girders over here, and the deal with them is you have this giant green coin and you can't reach it. Like you can't jump. And you can't reach it by gliding either. But the way that it's programmed, you can actually reach it with the boomerang. Like that. And that makes the star totally possible without jumping. And I just think it's awesome. That is like the coolest thing to me. The boomerang helps with the most like random clutch grabs. It's really good. And here we are boxed in with the bricks, and you know what that means. Pop. Alright, we are getting close to the end. It feels miraculous to watch this and see the whole run just have happened. This is my baby right here. But we're not done yet. 8-6. I'll let it speak for itself. I'll just say it's a level. So first off, you have all the ghosts, and we're gonna just ride the platform for a bit, and as early as we possibly can without dying, gliding over. You fucking hate this level. Understandable. So we've just done one auto-scroller skip without jumping. I'm quite proud of that. We're required to jump here for reaching that platform. We're going to combine that jump for the platform though with the jump to get this hat. And it will come in rather handy, or hatty. These enemies only die to light. And it helps us get the star. These tricks are as cool as death. Thank you! So this is an auto-scroller. I think it's pretty neat. I don't particularly care to, like, ride it, but I think it's neat. What I find particularly more interesting, though, are candles. I like the smell of them. I like to just rub my cat paws all over them. I am quite enamored, in fact, by candles. And that's the whole damn level. I am quite proud of that one, to say the least. Alright, this is the last Toad House. Oh, not Toad House, fuck. Mystery House. Yeah, whatever. This has 10 stars. This one is not too ridiculous to grab. Starts off simple and ramps it up. Here, we're gonna jump. We may have spent a jump, but now that we're in here, we can get so many stars that one A-Press puts in a lot of work in terms of netting us good things. But it's not alone. There are more. That is 2 A-Presses now for this level. And a third. This is highly A-Press dense. And there we go. So we're just gonna wait it out here. We're not gonna stay in or anything. So 3 A-Presses for 8 stars. I think this, and then one of the other houses, those are the 2 instances where I specifically press the A button just to get stars. But 8 stars for 3 A presses is super good. And that's the level. Alright, the final ordinary level in the game. This is in many ways an auto-scroller, and there are unfortunately no candles. But if there were, you know, they would be smelling good. That was a terrible... Like, that wasn't even a joke. I'm sorry. Yes, we candles. Of course I candle. I've got smells to smell. We can't all be winners, that's true. The last bit lets you just sort of skip it, which is nice. We're in no way required to just ride that all the way. Alright. Off we go. Volcanoes are like the Earth's candles. I guess if you want like lung cancer. The beautiful smell of ash and soot. You will have worse problems than lung cancer being near a volcano. Okay, that's true. Look at that star, isn't that great? What a nice star. That star looks so gettable. It looks so lovely. And we can't grab it. It is literally impossible without jumping. There are no ifs or ands, and definitely not any buts. It like just straight up cannot be grabbed. And there we are. Not nearly enough butts in this run. I'm sorry. Those are the costs of having the webcam turned off, I suppose. Alright. Motley Boss Blob Encore. This Encore is actually like significantly different than the first version. It's like the only one that's like that. The blobs are numerous. The aggression is high. And it has shockwaves. This is like literally the only refight that's different significantly, and they like changed several things about it. And all of them are harder to deal with when you can't jump. The shockwaves are so trivial if you can jump. The blobs, you can just avoid them. But they surround the boss so entirely, you have to just like precariously weave or just like wait the damn thing out. Luckily we have clones though. The clones offer a somewhat cushion. It's actually not as good as you'd think. Somewhat. Alright. So we're gonna grab a clone. We're gonna have one Daisy stand on the pipe. And we're gonna have the other grab the star. And grab that. I kinda like shoved one of the Daisies off of the pipe there. It was very goofy looking. Hooray. Worm spin. Worm spin. Sponsored by Worms. Seven more A-presses left. Oh, till 69. Post this war. Alright. Histocrat returns. This one is definitely not Motley Boss Blob. So the same rule sort of applies as speedrunning the prior Histocrat without jumping. You need to find the platforms and ride them. There's a really weird thing going on here though, where the discs on these, like snakes' snouts, they don't send you into float very easily. So I'll just like immediately dive because like, shoot, otherwise just fall straight down. I actually don't understand quite why it's like that, because when you fall off of the other ones, you enter a float. And as with the other snake boss, you don't want to like hit those immediate third round ones. Alright. And that's our final star. She is not looking. True serenity right there. Alright, here it is. Long have we waited. 8 dash. Well, it's not even a castle. It's something. 8 dash something. So, first order of business, gotta get rid of the boomerang suit. This level before the boss fight is quite short. Look at that star, what a nice to grab. First order of business, it's got a cannon and it requires an A-press to be shot out of. That is the first but definitely not last A-press of this level. This level is it's definitely a final boss. Goodbye, Toad. So, first thing I get at heights, you can actually climb this wall portion slightly and then climb up a bit. If you're watching me record this run, I'm pretty sure that was added in later, so I'm not sure if that was actually shown on stream. But you can avoid an A-press that way. And this segment is all auto-swirly, so we're just chilling. Bowser's Nyassel. Yeah, wait, yeah. Okay, that sounds wrong. It's supposed to sound like castle, but like nya. But it does not sound like that. So you can hear Daisy bonking right now. Literally, if you go too far, too fast, that just happens. That's what makes it an auto-scroller. Alright. A-press just happened. And another one. Okay, so right before the camera zooms in too far, you can actually climb the wall on the back corner. And This is also an auto-scroller, doing a bit of waiting. You can skip a bit of this auto-scroller at the end, which we're going to try to do. Ta-da! So from here, we have to climb the wall, but there's Bowser there. We actually have to wait for Bowser to leave. Very specific look of this area. I've never seen it like this before. But there's that. And waiting for the camera to rotate here because it's so hard to see anything. We're gonna go up to the top here and glide off the side and grab this wall. And then grab this wall over here as well and get to the top. We're going to jump once, twice, thrice, 4 times. And there we are. You feel cheated? The split second 69. I'm sorry. I have to roll here. I don't have cat seat. And there we are. Under 100 A presses for counting specifically only A presses that are done in levels. Look at that. And now we get the final numbers. So we have 71 A presses and 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 51 seconds for the final time. It was pointed out in chat that there were some spots where the count didn't count correctly. This count may be slightly, barely off. I apologize. This was an entire... Making this video was really fucking hard, so I apologize. But 71 or 71-ish is the minimum amount of A presses it takes to beat the game for in-level A presses. And I think that's cool. So again, this is very much a lot of, I guess, details going on here. We ban co-op, we ban Gamepad Cursor, we don't count A presses that aren't in a level, a lot of caveats. But this is as cool of a challenge run I could think of, and that is just all of it. I hope y'all enjoyed. This turned out amazing. Thank you. Great one to watch. Thank you. So I guess this is where I give thanks. I guess most specifically, most urgently, most relevant, thanks to Jennifer for helping commentate the first hour of this. Her help was wonderful. Shout out to JML for helping me edit this, because I was doing the final edits when JML was over, and they had a lot of advice and help. It was good. And thirdly, shout outs to Lightning and to Puffy for helping me with strats, specifically with Worlds 1 through 3. The majority of the run was all found out by me in my giant brain, but I am not alone. And yeah, this was very fun, and I'm glad to have done this, have it all done. I guess final shout outs to the people who made the Daisy mod, because literally I would not I quite possibly would not have made this if there was not a Daisy mod, because Peach is extremely boring and uninteresting. They put Bowser in the jar. They sure did. And yeah, thank you all for watching, both now and for everyone who helped occupy my brain, keep me sane while I was recording this on stream. I had to do a bunch of re-records in the end, but mostly this run was recorded on stream in different pieces and chunks, and yeah. The end. Okay, that is all I have to offer you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. And yeah, until next time, bye.